Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video I'd like to take a look at one of the exceptions we use for trading against the STF colour. For this I'd like to look at the DAX. This is the DAX on a 3-minute chart unfolding this morning. Normally we use the STF colour, which is blue for an uptrend, black for a flat, or red for a downtrend, to filter our trades. So for example, earlier in the day today there was a DP buy set up. The STF was actually black, therefore this was a good trade to take because it was in the direction of the STF colour, and as you can see that nailed that low absolutely beautifully before the DAX rallied sharply. But the trade I want to look at is this one here that unfolded at 7:48 New York time. As you can see, the STF is actually blue, so standard traders wouldn't be considering this because it was against the STF colour. But there are two exceptions we use to this for the more experienced traders. The first of these is we look to support or resistance. As this is a sell, this will be resistance on the higher time frame. The other exception is whether it's the end of a 5-wave sequence. So let's have a look at this. So if we hover over this pivot here, right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate, you can see that the software has found a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the high here right at the typical wave 5 WPT. Now this indicates that this is the end of a trend because a 5-wave sequence is a trend termination pattern. So under normal MTPredictor Elliott wave guidelines, we normally say that after a completed 5-wave sequence, which is what we had here, the market will normally retrace back to the DP off the wave 4 low in this case. So if I place the DP on, you can see that's exactly what happened. The market went down to here and it's now rallying off this this low quite nicely. So what does that mean for a potential trade setup? Well, what it means is if we are at the oops, sorry, my mouse slipped there. There we go. If we're at the end of a 5-wave sequence, then and at WPT support or resistance, in this case resistance, the more experienced MTPredictor users among you could then decide to go against the STF colour. So let's have a look at this trade setup. So now if we right mouse click over the red sell bar here, we do analyze setup. You can see that this is the trade that it would have suggested. It would have suggested going short 2 contracts. That's our position sizing coming in to keep our risks more under control, and would have projected this target out here in advance. And in fact, if I actually do this for you, if I use our training mode and I jump back to this bar here, this is what it looked like at the time. So first and foremost, you would have confirmed it's a 5-wave sequence, which it was. You'd then place your analysis on. Oops, sorry, I keep doing that. Place your analysis on, analyze setup, and there would be your trade setup at the time. And as we've already seen, when I turn training mode off, the market went down to this first target here, where a potential 3.3 hour profit was available. So that's the topic of today's webinar, is one of the two exceptions where the more experienced, and I say more experienced users, we don't suggest that anyone who's new to MTPredictor goes against the STF colour until you're a bit more experienced, but once you are, then one of the two exceptions for going against the STF colour is the end of a 5-wave sequence. And as you can see here, this DP sell came right at the typical wave 5 WPT for the end of a 5-wave sequence, and as such the market came back to the DP off the wave 4, and that basically built our trade setup. The result, a lovely 3.3 hour profit.